Okay, so before we start with Laravel, I just quickly want to go over with what the difference is between procedural coding and object-oriented programming, which is OOP, I guess. Okay, so let me first start off with showing what is procedural coding. In my public, I'm just going to create a new file called test. I'm going to create in this IDE some new file. I'm just going to call it test.php. If I go here, I just want to quickly start my server. You can use whatever server you like, WAMP, XAMPP, or PHP's own server. So inside here I created the test.php. So if I go in here, I copy this and I call it test.php. You'll see I will get something empty because there's nothing inside here. So to start a PHP file, I just do this PHP and I can close it. Actually, you don't need to close it, but as long as there's nothing else that ends with after it, then you can actually just leave out the ending. It's just that if you would have HTML here for some reason, then you have to close the PHP file before you continue with HTML. But anyway, so procedural coding is just normal coding. So you can actually just make a new variable called variable equals, let's just spell it correctly, equals hello. That's a very original taste. Okay, so if I want to echo that, I can just say echo variable, and if I go back to my Chrome, it will say hello world. That is just that. So the problem now is that everything I want to do is procedural. It means it gets executed from the top to the bottom. So if I want to do math, for example, I would want to say, okay, variable of, let's say, math in equals 3 or 4 and okay, equals, let's say it's math in plus math 2. Then I can say echo answer. I'm just going to, because let you guys know, because it echoes the variable and then it echoes the answer, it will be just in one word. So let me quickly show you. Oh wait, I did something wrong. Let me see. Oh yes, I never put in the comma point or something, semicolon. Anyway, so if I do this, you will see it says hello world 58. So in order to fix that, I can either do this, let's see if that works. No, that doesn't work, but I know the break will work because that's HTML. Okay, or I can just actually do this echo dot. Okay, let's leave it out there. So it echoes this, then it echoes the break, and then it echoes answer. So that should work. Let me quickly show you. Yeah, that still works. Okay. So this is the thing with procedural. There's no structure. We execute from top to bottom. So if you later start with HTML, you have to then add HTML in here. So you will have something like echo HTML and let's see. And then I can say, okay, then echo. So this is what kind of the gist of how the PHP would work, look like if you mix it and work from top to bottom. So this is not a really cool way to do this because you want more structure and so on. So Laravel is completely object-oriented programming. So let me show you the difference between this and object-oriented programming. Just hold on. Okay, so let's create a test2. Let me show you the difference. So I can just say new file. I will call it test2.php, and this is now going to be object-oriented programming. So normally for each class you create, you should actually just use one file. So, but in this case, I'm just going to use two classes in here so that you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so let me start off with the class. You have to create a class, and let's call it test1, and inside the class I will then use let's quickly not forget about the PHP. So inside the class I want to create a method. Okay, so let's call it, okay, I have to initiate the construct method. So it's public function construct, and then for now I'm just going to call echo something. So if I execute this, nothing is supposed to happen. Let me see. See, it doesn't do anything because even though it executes, it never actually called the class. So what I now can do is, as soon as I enter this, I can say something like, okay, test let's say test in equals new test1. So now it should echo this because this is now an object. It actually creates this, and this gets created automatically. So if I open this and execute, wow, nothing happens. So what did I do wrong? Oh, I spelled wrong. I said construct. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it goes, hello world. So now it executed. Now you don't have to initiate the construct, but it's just very, it just means that as soon as you want to, especially call more functions, methods inside the function, and you want to pass in variables and stuff like that, you can do it with the constructs. For example, let me show you. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to pass in two math function variables. So let's call it 13, okay, yeah. So 32, and 43. I want to pass it through to this construct. So what I can do now is I can say private, and not with it. Let's call it like math1, like I did with the other test, and I can just copy and paste that and call it math2. So as soon as I call this, I want this to be defined. So all I need to do is I can call this, let's say variable 1 and variable 2. And inside here, because this is now object, I can say this because it shows it references it to itself. So this math1 equals variable 1 and math2 equals variable 2. So if I want to, let me quickly see if that works. So if I go and say echo math1, it should say 32. Let's see if that works. Okay, that works, but there's something else wrong. Undefined variable 2. So I did something, yeah, because my spelling is horrible today. I don't know why. But yeah, so it passed through 32. So another cool thing is now you can actually say, okay, I want a new method inside this. So the one method is I want to, let's make it a public method. Yeah, public method, public function. Let's do. So this is my function name, my method name. So I'm just going to return whatever it says, math1 plus math2. So if I do this, if I actually I can actually yes, let's say test2 equals, then I can say it's test1, because this is now an object, and I can call within the object this, add the numbers. So what it does now is that it executes this method and assign it to this variable over here. So if I want to echo that, oh yeah, so I did something wrong. Let's see, 21. Okay, so obviously this didn't work because I never actually referenced my own object. So this was never defined. So I just have to go say this and this. So this math, this object's private variable is now assigned. Okay, so if I go in F5, you will see it does this. So I can actually create a new one that says, what do you call it? Multiply the numbers. My spelling is very good. Okay, yeah, so, and the difference between that is I want to, yes, do that. Okay, so if I now do this test 3, okay, just to not confuse you, I'm just going to call it object 1. And object 1, let's call it test 1, test 2, and call this, but I'm going to delete that out for now. So test 2 is going to be object and then multiply the numbers, and if I go that and say echo test 2, it's 1849. So you can now actually display both of them. So this is a quick way you can create an object and stuff like that. Now the cool thing is you can actually initiate different objects. So for example, if I create a new one and say object 2, and let's make it a simple one, it is 5 plus 4. And I do the same thing. I want to test 1 is that, and test 2 is object 2 is 1. So it's going to be the exact same thing, but object 1 is going to execute this method because the values in here is different and object 2 is here. So now I can actually do this. I just want to create a break over there, and let's see. 86.8. So that does make sense. And basically, if there's something other you want to know about objects, please let me know. But this is the gist of it, so you just understand what it's all about and know the difference between procedural and object-oriented programming. If there's something specific you guys want explained, let me know and I will explain that. But I just wanted to show you the difference between object-oriented and procedural coding. Just know that in procedural coding, you can still create functions, but it's going to look like this function, add math. You can say variable 1 and variable 2. So the difference between this would have been, what is that? Okay, let's remove this. It was actually very pointless. So I can actually just also create the functions. In procedural coding, you can actually call functions. Say I could do something like add math and then say 3, 5, and inside here I could say something like variable 1 plus variable 2, let's say return. So then we can say answer is equals, so answer equals calls this function 4 5, so answer should be actually 9. So let's just see if that works. I'm just going to leave all my comment everything out. So answer should be 9. Let's see, echo answer, and if I go to this and go back to my test.php, it says 9. I see on 11 I did something wrong. Oh yeah, because I echo variable and there is no, I commented out, it shouldn't work. But yeah, so if I go there and 9, it works. So yeah, that's basically all. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.